Welcome back, friends. Today we are at our loudest spot yet. We're sitting backstage at Summerfest with Return to Dust. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's going
up,
on,
man?
How you doing?
Dude, thank you for doing this, and thank you for speaking with your outside voices while we're at a rock show with everybody. How about each of you introduce yourselves and share a fun fact people don't know about you? Something outside of music, such as Magic the Gathering.
You got us. So I'm Maddie. I like to draw. I draw if I'm not doing music.
My name's Seb. I don't have a lot of hobbies. I play a lot of video games, but I play like a lot of From Software games like Elden Ring and I've been playing a lot of Battlefront 2. That's my thing. That's what I got.
Yeah, you basically stole what I was gonna say, Magic the Gathering. But honestly, like anything like Wizards of the Coast, they make D&D for those who don't know that. They also make D&D, or they made D&D and all of that stuff. So just big nerd stuff. I'm on like a huge D&D kick right now, so I'm like looking up all sorts of stuff about it.
Have you convinced them to play D&D with you on the tour bus?
Well, Seb doesn't really play, but yeah. Me and Maddie have played quite a bit.
I wasn't aware that you could do that with just two people.
We have a party.
Yeah,
We have a group that
not
we
two
rotate
people
out with.
Yeah.
We'd love to have Seb. I don't think he's has a fruitful imagination
No,
enough for it.
I don't do that.
One day we'll get there. So you guys have been touring all over the place, and you've seen a million bands in your young lives, even though I keep saying you're young because I'm 35. So I feel like by comparison, I'm like, you guys are so young. For each of you, who has been your favorite live performance you've ever seen?
Ooh.
That's a
Okay.
crazy one.
Well, I don't want to steal anyone's.
Do it. No, just say it though. We can agree.
I saw Circus Survive when I was like fairly young. And that was like my vocal like idol, like them just like Anthony Green just being able to like belt those big like high notes and stuff. I was like, I want to learn how to sing like that. So I started like practicing in my car, and I was just singing like Lane Staley and like Circus Survive and all that stuff until I could sing the way that I do now.
I saw Pantera. I forgot at what festival we played, but
Sure, it was Sonic Temple.
was it Sonic Temple? Man, I've seen them before opening for Metallica, but the seats were terrible and it was hard to see them. But man, just seeing them like on a proper stage was like, I have to do what they do. That was super inspiring to see. So that's, yeah.
I've seen both Idols and Turnstile a couple times. It's such a tie between both of those bands. I love both of those bands so much. I guess Turnstile for the crowds. Idols for the just the sheer punk attitude. I love it.
So bands all the time have to sub people in for one reason or another, partially because so many people are in different bands. If you could have any band call you and say, you have to take my spot for this 30-day tour, which band are you going to take, and what role are you going to be? Because you play guitar, rhythm guitar, and sing. You play bass, so are you just going to be a singer? Are you going to be a bass player? Pick the band. Who are you going to play with?
So if there was a band,
But you're separating. You're not going together.
Yeah, we can't go together. So did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Sort of. So yeah, if there's a band that had a member that something tragic happened to them, we had to sub in.
Right.
What band would we pick?
Oh, man.
I
I already got mine. Sorry. I'm going to...
do it, bro.
Man, I would take Chili Peppers for Shantae's spot. I would kill that job. I should say that.
If RHCP called tomorrow and was like, quit Return to Dust.
Immediately, bro. Immediately, dude. A job for Shantae.
All right, y'all stay away from our boy, man, okay?
Oh, man.
God, I don't know.
I got mine. If you don't have yours,
Yeah, what would you do?
Queens of the Stone Age. I'd take Michael Schumann's spot. Like any day. What an incredible bass player. And just an incredible band. I love Queens of Stone Age. And just all those bass parts are just like so tasty. I know he didn't like play bass on like all the stuff, but like all the bass parts are just so tasty. I would love to play those songs.
I would love to front like someday like a hardcore band or something like that. Something like punk and old school, like old AFI. Like I would love to just sing like crazy high emo lyrics over some heavy like rhythm guitars and stuff. That would be fun.
I feel like you'd have to work on your vocal warm-ups even further to stretch those vocal cords to not get injured.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I would.
Okay, so Summerfest is the biggest music festival in the world as far as number of overall artists that perform. If you had to pick another artist and or band that is here at Summerfest, you haven't met them yet, but you're going to be deserted on an island with them. Who are you picking?
That's tough because it's like we don't know these people personally,
Exactly.
so this could be an awful decision, you know? That's a good question.
Oh man, I'm taking our boy Billy, dude. I just dig into his mind about the tone, man.
Yeah.
If there's no one else on
Like,
the
you got
island to
nowhere
talk
to go, Billy. You gotta
Nowhere
tell
to
me
go,
what the
man.
secret
Gotta
is.
tell me.
Yeah.
What are your amp settings, bro?
Okay, so how did you meet Billy? We're talking about Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins,
Yeah.
who you guys are opening for, kind of. You have opened for, you have traveled with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
did he
we-
just DM you out of the blue and say, "Hey, Maddie,
No,
I heard
wish.
cool things about you"?
I wish. No, the past month we've been on tour with him, and it's been incredible. It's been like all over the East Coast and Midwest, and it's actually funny. One of our friends back home, who's like really loves our music, she has her own podcast. Her name's Allison Hagendorf.
Unthinkable.
Yeah.
Well, it was just as unthinkable then.
Yeah.
In 1989 or whatever.
She had Billy on her show, and they were just talking back and forth, and she was just raving about us, and she was talking about how much she loves our band, and I guess he checked it out and really liked it, so he decided to take us out, and very, very, very grateful for that.
How did she get a hold of him? She just DM him?
Well,
He doesn't accept DMs, I don't think,
well,
because I tried to.
she used to be head of rock at Spotify, and she's just always been in like the rock and metal scene, like in New York and now in LA. So she's been a fervent like rock and metal like championer for a long time. So when she found our band, she really fell in love with it and like wanted to push us as much as possible. And then I told Billy about it, and Billy really liked it.
What's something each of you learned from Billy that has helped
Oh,
your
God.
careers?
Oh man,
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely the guitar tones and stuff, but also just the stage presence, just being able to like command the audience without saying anything. It's all about your motions. It's all about the hand gestures, just talking to the audience with your hands, as opposed to like rocking out, the thrashing for no reason, or like saying too much for no reason. It's like, it's really about what you don't say.
He really lets the song speak, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just everything Matthew said, specifically the tone. I seeing that guy play, because he's also a student of the craft. You know, he like knows it. You know, just seeing him work on his tone and all that is like a work of art. You know, and it's like it's really inspiring. Mostly, just like you gain a lot from it. You know, that I want to achieve that in some way, in my own way. You know.
Seeing somebody who does not have to take it that seriously at this point, but still does,
Exactly.
is really inspiring. What have you
Yeah.
learned from him, Graham?
I just like kind of piggybacking off the tones. Like, there's so much variance between his songs, like, you know, across his career, and I think that also speaks for the songwriting, which is really cool. It's just like he can cover so much ground with the writing, and that's inspiring in and of itself. It's just like, you know, I think that is definitely what we strive to do with Return to Dust, is just like make a breadth of work that covers like as much range that, you know, I guess not as much range that we can, but as much range that, like, you know, we're allowed to cover, you know what I mean? Like that
feels right.
That we can tap into this, you know, kind of, you know, songwriting aether and like just create as much as possible within the scope of Return to Dust, whatever that is, you know.
So what is pushing the scope of Return to Dust for next? Like, what is it that you're trying to push yourself to be able to do?
I feel like that's I feel like personally that's something that we go in the studio and try and figure out right then and there. It's like, oh, we could do that, you know, or it's like usually an idea in our head that we don't know we can push the boundaries and do that. And then when it works, and it sounds good, and it we accept it to be like in that return to dust, it's cool,
Yeah, I think it's best not to kind of overwhelm yourself with like, like bite off more than you can chew when you're thinking about like, oh, like what is the next record gonna sound like? It's like, well, maybe it's okay that you don't know what the next record sounds like. Just get in the studio, just make the thing, just make the songs. You have ideas, like flesh them out, and then see what you made. Because sometimes I feel like you're not really gonna know what you make until, you're on the final mix and you're like, oh wow, that's what we got out of that.
Well, it's okay if it sucks. That's one thing that I try to like tell people all the time. You can make something and have it be bad. You don't have to show it to anyone.
We've trashed plenty of songs, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's okay to suck, just allow yourself to almost, like, I wasn't good, like, I know now,
Yeah. And you have to suck at some point at everything that you start. And if you're not willing to kind of push through that initial part, that's something that's really tough too, is like with established musicians, again, being young, but you're still established already, you hold yourself to the standard where you're like, I can't do anything unless it's as good as whatever, which is totally unrealistic. And then you end up just staying in a lane that you're like, well, I know people will like this and I know I'm good at this, so I'll just do this forever. And then you're just going to get stuck.
Yeah, that's where like creativity kind of, like, that's where you got to tap into it, know, where it's like, if you think you need to stay in this lane, like, truly go out of your box as much as possible, and just try everything. If you're like, I don't know, I feel like I have to do this, just like, no, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You could truly just go in and go out of your box as much as possible. That feels comfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's with everything in life, is you can do that.
Exactly.
So, you guys have been getting all tatted up, I see. If on this tour, on a whim, you each had to get a tattoo of the person to your left, not of me, but wrap around. You had to get a tattoo representing him, you of him, you of him. Ooh. What would you get?
Well, that's a good question.
Thank you. I thought of it just now.
Get a tattoo representing Seb. I'd get a milkshake for Graham for sure. Homeboy loves his soft desserts.
Yeah,
He's so right.
Man, that's hard.
Oh man.
I feel like you're big on the workout on tour. I feel like I get a dumbbell on my arm or something. Okay. 20 pounds.
Yeah. You can do anything with a 20-pounder, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything and everything. You can get jacked with a 20-pounder.
I'd get an unmarked bottle of shampoo because Seb loves to gatekeep his hair products.
How much would it cost each of you to shave your head? Because your locks are luxurious and you've been growing them.
10 grand I'd shave my head.
Wow. Damn.
He puts a lot of value on that and then locks, dude.
Would you not?
I mean, they look good.
I actually did shave my head
Takes
like
a couple of years,
like
man.
4 years ago.
Wow.
Nah, I'd say 10 grand. That's a good price.
Yeah. I
15
feel like it's
grand,
not
'cause
too
why
high,
not?
not too low.
Catch me on an off day. I'll do it for free.
You guys have been putting out a bunch of like live recordings on YouTube, which I think is so sick because there's way too many artists these days that do a ton to their voice and do all this like After Effects stuff and then they sound not good live. So when you know you're good live, recording it and showcasing that is an awesome tool for people to be like, oh, I actually want to go spend money to support this band and see them. NPR Tiny Desk is like the biggest thing in the world right now.
Yeah.
You guys are a little hard for maybe the traditional, so maybe you'd have to tone it down. I don't know. But if
You'd
you
be
were
surprised.
if you were going to pick 5 songs because you're going to be the next Tiny Desk group, what 5 songs in what order?
Surprisingly, I this is probably what one of you were gonna say, but we usually start the songs like the writing process on an acoustic guitar. These guys go in and just like write lyrics on an acoustic guitar. So it's most of the time pretty stripped back until the whole band gets in there, and it's like, how can we make it return to dust? So I mean, we play a lot of like radio shows on tour, just doing acoustic. So I feel like that'd be a pretty
the songs definitely work in like a stripped back format, and I feel like that's what we would do if we went on like a Tiny Desk or something. Just do it like all, I don't know, kind of
like
MTV Unplugged
what
style.
songs though?
Yeah,
dude?
what 5 songs?
I mean,
Start off with Black Road.
okay, gotta do Black Road.
Gotta do Black Road.
Like we gotta hit Belly Up.
Yeah, we gotta hit Belly Up.
I'm just loving board acoustic.
Board
is just
acoustic
cool.
would be really cool.
It's really
I like
dope.
that. I also-
Downfall.
Oh, downfall.
We got to do that one.
Boss, and the set, dude.
And the set, when you look at
It'd be
they gotta do like Strangers or Live Like This or something.
Live Like
right?
This. I like Live Like
one
This.
of the Tender songs.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Okay, so I want to know your favorite 3 of each one. So who are your favorite 3 voices of any singers ever? You can think about guitars. You can think about bass.
Or vocal. Graham also sings.
Yeah,
so
you can do
you
bass
can think
or
about
vocal.
vocalists as
yeah,
well, Graham.
my mind went to vocalist.
You're allowed to, man. Definitely Anthony Green. For Chris Cornell or Lane Staley. Yeah, I feel like those both just kind of exist in the same realm, just like great grunge singers. I'll do those as my 3. Yeah.
Seb, your turn.
Guitar players, number 1, Paul Gilbert. He's the man. He's literally like God to me. Number 2, Dimebag Darrell. I see him the same way as I see Paul Gilbert, just as good. And then 3rd is probably either Randy Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen. I could switch up between those 2, but those are my 3.
Oh yeah.
I would do Ozzy as my 3rd, by the way.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for pushing through the pain, Graham. I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Chester Bennington. This is gonna throw you guys. Gwen Stefani.
Yes.
She rocks, dude.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. Specifically vocalists.
Yes.
I was gonna say Lady Gaga, but she's more of a vocalist, so I wouldn't necessarily like if we're focusing in. I wouldn't say that. I gotta say like Chris Cornell or something. Yeah.
Sick. Okay, last question. If you could relive any one day of your musical journey so far, which day would you relive and walk me through it? You can go in whatever order.
Ooh.
Wow. Damn, I have such a bad memory, but I'll try and remember a day. God, I don't know.
I got one.
Go for it.
The first show that we played at the Hard Rock, opening up for Beartooth, when we were not ready at all to open up for Beartooth, and we just got on stage and we were just paralyzed in fear. I wish we could just go back and rock that show, like, so badly, because we were just so fearful, and then, like, everyone was just pissed at us, like, the
We
rest
should
of the
not
night.
have played that show.
We should
yeah.
not have played that show. It was way
Actually,
too early.
No. You know what? We should have played. Everything should have happened the way it
Right,
did.
yeah, it did
Yeah.
happen for a reason.
Yeah.
It had to happen at some point. But yeah.
That was a good moment.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's hard. I'd like to play the first festival that we played, the Rockville, just to experience it again, as I've never been to a festival before we played Rockville, and so that was just a cool experience to be like, oh man, a festival. So I'd like to experience that again.
It's nice because we were getting our managers and our label and everything, and it was like, oh, it felt so like we were so special.
Did you get leather jackets all at the same time when that happened?
What's that?
Said you get leather jackets at the same time when that happened
I know.
too?
It's like we all get shades and leather jackets. It's like we're big shots now.
Yes.
I felt really important that first festival day. It was just like, damn.
There was just a lot riding on it. I was like, yeah, and then we killed it.
Hell yeah.
I'd go back to the day that you knocked on the garage. That was a good time. That was a good one.
Hell yeah.
With his mom, and
We
he
met
was
Sep
just
for
like,
the first time at
Yeah.
one of our rehearsals. he lives down the street from our house, or he lived down the street from our house.
Yeah.
And yeah. But
Man, that was so wholesome. I feel like you need a hug.